Now, today we're going to be talking about a woman that is unbelievably terrible with money. Now, at least according to the show and the impression that I'm getting from the show, she is terrible with money to the point that if she had a money tree, the money on that tree would be yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and expose you guys to Gia, who is, I believe, currently 26 years old. She was 25 when they filmed this episode, but Gia has a natural talent for making money disappear. And I kind of want to go over it because I thought that she was pretty hilarious. She seems pretty funny to me. And I kind of want to go ahead and expose you guys to her. So let's go ahead and just take a look at some of her problems in her financial life. Just a heads up, I had to lower the exposure because holy crap, man, looking at the screen almost makes it seem like you're about to head towards the light. So just kind of want to go ahead and give you guys that heads up. All right, so let's go ahead and allow her to describe what her living situation is like.
You're kind of everything up.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you're living off of begging for money on Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, and desperately holding on to a husband that's technically not even an ex at this point, but is not together and is sending you money.
So I got to Texas.
I'm gonna take that as a cope laugh. This is no way to live. And more than that, and this is the one that just stabs a knife through my heart. You're homeless right now, living in your car, barely got the repairs necessary to come out here, and you really wanted to come out here, so you did it, and then you drove through the from the northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her living situation is incredibly terrible. Her living conditions have no terms and conditions. She is literally just a free radical. And you can see that her decision making is incredibly impacting her life. And you're going to see what I'm talking about when I say her decision making, because unfortunately for her, she ended up getting pulled over by a cop or an officer, and it went hilariously wrong. So let me go ahead and allow her to explain it, and then I'll go ahead and summarize it for you guys.
Well,
What?
I can't live in Kansas.
Why?
Because I have a warrant.
What the
I have a warrant.
why?
Failure to appear in court. So
Why?
they got me one time, and I went to jail for 4 days.
Got you for what?
Failure to appear.
Huh?
Failure to appear. So I'm still living in Kansas.
Yeah, what did you need to appear for?
So I got pulled over by the highway patrol, and he was like, "You can't leave. You can't move this car. Your tags are bad, and your license is bad. So you're gonna figure out something out." And I don't know people in Kansas like that. And I was on my way to school, so I sat there for 20 minutes thinking he left. I hopped on the freeway. He followed me, and I stopped again. He gave me another ticket.
Girl, what the dude?
Just in case it didn't sound like English to you guys, let me go ahead and translate those sound waves into something decipherable. Essentially, she got pulled over by a highway patrol officer, got ticketed for having expired tabs, and I believe a suspended license. The officer told her she cannot drive because her documents are expired, and so he left. She waited 20 minutes, looked around to see if there's any officers in sight, hopped back into her vehicle, and pressed the gas pedal to maximum. It turns out that the officer was waiting right around the corner for her to get back into that car and break the law, and inevitably ended up being ticketed once again. Why replay a highlight when you could just do it again? She turned a mistake into a sequel. If common sense was a sport, she'd be permanently benched. Now, you know it's bad when the cop doesn't have to move to ticket you twice. However, to Gia, according to her, she's still young enough to make mistakes.
All these choices, all this crap.
I feel like I'm still young enough to make mistakes, so that's the thing.
All right, we're not gonna call them mistakes. We're gonna call them creative misinterpretation of the rules. Who am I kidding, bro? Yeah, no, they're mistakes. Actually, stupid mistakes. Because holy crap, how do you get ticketed twice in half an hour? You have to be creatively stupid to pull that off. Maybe I'm stupid as well. I probably would have been ticketed twice if you really think about it. Because, I mean, you know, the cop was pretty creative. He did position himself in some corner, waited for this woman to see if she would break the law. And behold, she granted that wish. But even if I did make a stupid mistake like that, you have to consistently make stupid mistakes in order for your life to be in the situation that you're in. When Caleb offers her a job at a warehouse, her perspective on the warehouse is what's preventing her from having an actual job that can potentially benefit her.
Okay, if you show up and don't smell like have an adequate resume, which we could help you with, yes, you could get a warehousing job here pretty easily, I think. Potentially.
I don't like warehousing though.
What
Like
the
I'll do
are
it.
you?
I'll do it for like a week or two, and then it's like
You said you wanted a job We asked what jobs you're good at. You said that, and that's what your experience is. So what job do you want?
Yeah, so that's another mistake on her part. I'd probably consider it stupid. I don't know why she came onto the show. Usually people who come onto the show, I assume it's because they're pretty desperate. They have terrible money habits, which in this case, this woman does. And so she comes to Caleb and he offers her a solution, but she doesn't want it. But of course, she wanted to rebuttal by saying that, oh, well, you know, I don't want to do a job like that. Instead, I want to do something in media.
I want something around like media and cameras. Like I was supposed to be going to this this movie shoot in California, like to be a movie extra, and then that flopped. But I'm trying to do like photography or like videography or something. That's why I went to school for film production.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh.
A woman can dream, right?
Absolutely, you can dream, but your dream to some people is going to be considered a nightmare. And besides that, you are dreaming because you're on this show and it seems to me like you're like half asleep. Why are you even on this show? Like, no offense, like I'm not trying to offend the woman or any of that, but I kind of question, like, why are you on the show then? Because it doesn't really seem like she even understands why she's on the show.
What can I do right here to help you?
Shame me into doing something, I guess.
Well, I hope that is something that actually helps you and not just a kink.
When I hear that from you, it doesn't really sound like you have direction. And you're kind of hinging on this idea that Caleb, he's going to say something that's just going to motivate you to do something. I also can't help but have this impression that you also expect Caleb to give you guidance or direction in your life by drawing out a map with an X on it, which look at some of you guys. That's Caleb's hidden treasure. No. What I'm saying is that she just wants somebody to give her guidance. But the problem with that is that Caleb is a very busy person. He can't do that for you. Supposedly, Caleb has like these programs that can help out any guest that attends this show. However, it seems like they're pretty ineffective because Gia, who you just saw right now, apparently she was also a part of this program. However, nobody really gives her a call.
But are they continuing to keep in touch and trying to help you financially recover?
Well, Caleb follows me on Twitter, but other than that, I don't really talk to them much.
Did they provide you with a financial plan to go home with?
I mean, basically the plan was get a job.
See, but that's the thing though, when you're trying to prescribe the same financial plan to everyone, it's not as simple as just telling them to get a job. Obviously, she's already told Caleb multiple times she can't do warehousing, she gets anxiety, she leaves the jobs, which if you watch the episode, it's clearly that she does all of that. I know people are gonna say, oh, well, you know, that's no excuse to live the way that she's living. Absolutely. But at the same time, people's lives are pretty complicated and very complex. So it's not just as simple as just saying, oh, well, you know, here's a plan, go get a job. Maybe she's just exaggerating a ton of what's going on in her life, which probably is the case. After all, this is show business. So you do have to kind of exaggerate your situation. You tripped over a pebble? You mean you fell out of a plane without a parachute? You stubbed your toe? You mean you stepped on a landmine? You forgot your phone charger? You mean you got stranded in the Stone Age? You just got a paper cut? You mean you went up against a samurai? And this show is definitely not an exception. Obviously, they're gonna prioritize showbiz. As a matter of fact, when she was interviewed by Scott Schaefer, she, in a sense, admitted that the producers told her to inflate the situation.
You said that it's all scripted and hyped up. Do you think it's an accurate representation of what you're currently going through, or is it more for show?
I feel like it's more for show because now people think I'm like something I'm not. They call me like a deadbeat piece of shit, like this and that, when it's like I just put a little snippet of my life out on this video, you know? So it's like they hype up the bad parts to get the views, like to get the clicks.
That could potentially be true, but at the end of the day, ultimately, the results that you end up with are most likely because of the behaviors that you have developed over the years and the perspective that you currently have. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Want to give a quick shout out to my sister for suggesting this video. We watched it together, we had a lot of fun, and please don't attack her. After watching that interview, she was detailing events about how people were attacking her. We're not about that. Please, please, please don't go and attack her, okay? And when I say attack her, I mean verbally attack her. No one's going up to her, pulling out a katana and challenging her to a duel. This is all for show and for entertainment. So yeah, I just kind of want to go ahead and expose you guys to somebody with terrible money habits. And I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That's all I have for you guys, and I'll see you guys next video.